In a quiet corner of the world, tucked away in a small, worn-out house, a dream began to grow. Under the flicker of a single dim light, a child studied, their small hands turning the pages of a book that held the promise of a different future. Around them, life was a constant struggle. Their parents, with faces etched with fatigue from long days of hard work, moved like shadows, their bodies weary but their spirits unbroken. Yet even in this world of scarcity, there was an abundance of something far more precious. A smile would always find its way to the child's face as they helped with household chores, a small gesture of love in a home filled with it. Some dreams, you see, are not born in grand mansions or bustling cities. They are born in the smallest of homes, nurtured by the biggest of hearts. Theirs was a life measured not in possessions, but in moments. Dinner time was a simple affair, the table holding just enough to get by, but it was a feast of connection. As they shared their modest meal, laughter and stories filled the small room, weaving a tapestry of warmth that defied the cold reality of their circumstances. The parents, who had so little to give in material wealth, offered the greatest treasure of all, the leaf. "Keep studying," they would say, their voices a gentle but firm encouragement. "You are our hope." And the child, looking into their loving eyes, would make a solemn promise, a vow whispered from the deepest part of their soul. "I will make you proud." They had little money, but they possessed a fortune of endless, unconditional love. While other children's laughter echoed in the streets, this child's world was often one of quiet contemplation. They would stand at the window, gazing at the distant city lights that sparkled like a galaxy of possibilities, a world so far yet so tantalizingly close. That vision fueled a relentless drive. Playtime was sacrificed for study time, the allure of games replaced by the challenge of equations and the beauty of prose. Their school books became constant companions, tucked under their arm even while running errands or helping their parents. This wasn't just about personal ambition, it was a mission. This child wasn't just dreaming for themselves. They were dreaming for their family, carrying the weight of their hopes on their small, determined shoulders. Then one day the sky wept. A heavy, relentless rain fell, mirroring the sudden storm that had torn through their lives. The house, once filled with the comforting presence of two loving parents, was now hollow and silent. In the dim light, the child sat alone, their small frame lost in the vastness of the room. Two chairs, once occupied by the anchors of their world, now stood starkly empty. The warmth was gone, replaced by a chilling void. In an instant, the world had shifted, and the child who was once sheltered by love was now left to face the storm, completely alone. It is in these moments of unimaginable loss that life tests the strongest of hearts, pushing them to the very edge of breaking. The years that followed were a blur of survival. The child, forced to grow up far too soon, navigated a world that seemed indifferent to their pain. They took on small jobs, their hands, once meant for holding pencils, now calloused from labor. Sleep was a luxury they could rarely afford. Late into the night, long after the rest of the world was quiet, they would sit with their books, their mind fighting a constant battle against physical and emotional exhaustion. The journey to school became a daily pilgrimage, a long walk that tested their endurance, but never their resolve. Through it all, a mask of determination hid the silent battles being fought within. No one saw the tears that fell on the pages of their textbooks, the quiet sobs muffled in the lonely nights. No one knew the depth of the struggle behind the unwavering spirit. As seasons changed and years rolled by, the child blossomed into a young adult. The passage of time had not dulled the pain of their loss, but it had forged it into an unshakable strength. The memory of their parents' belief became a sacred fire that burned within, illuminating the path forward. They didn't just study. They attacked their books with a ferocity born from desperation and love. Every page turned, every exam passed, was a step away from the shadows of the past and a step closer to the promise they had made. Slowly, painstakingly, through sheer force of will, their life began to change. The walls of poverty started to crumble, replaced by the foundations of a future they were building with their own two hands. Pain can shatter a person into a million pieces, or it can forge them into someone truly unstoppable. And then the day came, the culmination of 1,000 sleepless nights, 1,000,000 silent prayers. The graduation cap sat proudly on their head, a crown earned through years of relentless effort. The first job offer felt like a key, unlocking a door to a world they had only ever dreamed of. One morning, as the sun began its ascent, painting the sky in hues of orange and gold, they stood on a balcony overlooking the city. The distant lights they had once gazed at with longing were now part of their world. The dream, which had flickered so precariously in the face of tragedy, had not only survived, it had triumphed. It survived because the heart that held it, though broken, had never ever surrendered. With success finally in hand, there was one last journey to make. They stood in a quiet, peaceful place, the resting place of the two souls who had started it all. In their hand they held a faded photograph, a captured moment of a smiling family in a small, worn-out house. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves, like a soft whisper from the past. A smile touched their lips, a smile that shone through the tears welling in their eyes. It wasn't a smile of sadness, but of profound gratitude and love. Looking at the names etched in stone, they spoke to the memory of their parents, a silent conversation from a grateful heart. Everything I have, everything I am, everything I became, was because you believed in me. A child who grows with love, even in the deepest poverty, can build a future that is stronger than any hardship. Their legacy is not just the success they achieve, but the love they carry forward, a light that can never be extinguished. Thank you for watching Pulsebeat. We tell stories that echo through the heart. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more.